protests scheduled across the United States, also protests in Mexico. There's expected to be over 525 broader events in connection with all of these events. So the movement continues. And of course, this follows the massive hands-off protests that took place earlier in April when you added up all of the towns and cities where those protests took place. There were several million people, by some estimates, about 5 million people running parallel. We've seen the Fight the Oligarchy tour by Senator Bernie Sanders and AOC, and we've seen Democrats going into about education. We have to talk about healthcare. We have to talk about the oligarchs taking all these tax cuts for themselves while screwing over the billionaires get richer and richer. We need to talk about why it is that in the richest country in the world, right? The richest country in the world, people struggle to get health care. Those are the types of issues that are on people's minds. The Republican polling as well. And to me, though, that speaks to people getting out there, talking to your neighbors, your friends, your colleagues, and the economy. It is far worse than the first Trump administration. The economy, even though I thought it should never be viewed as a strong suit for Republicans and Trump, that's handling of inflation is at -18 on average. He has now lost the GOP's single best political asset of the last decade. And it should never have been, because the Democrats, of the 52 million jobs that have been created over the past 3 decades, they've been created by Democrats. 50 million of those created by underwater on the economy, -9.3%, on trade, -15.2%, on inflation and cost of living, -17.5%. If you look at the data here while in 7, when you actually dig into the issue and you talk about deporting people who have been here for 10 years with no criminal record, or kidnapping people and sending them to El Salvador concentration camps, Trump is very unpopular. When you talk about comprehensive, are okay with deportations. They're okay with borders. So am I. The issue is kidnapping people without due process, throwing them to concentration camps, recklessly rounding up migrants, destroying the economy at all, and going after people without criminal like that. And neither do the American people when you really break down the issues. If you just take a weighted average, also add all of these right-wing like Rasmussen, where Trump has 51% disapproval from Rasmussen, which is like as pro-Trump as you can get, disapproving of him. Then when you go into some of the crosstabs, in average approval rating is under 40% among the following groups: Black people, people ages 18 to 29, independents 37%, moderates 37%, women 39%, Latinos 39%. And when you go to ages 30 to 44, 41%, white college grad, 41% of years have jobs and no criminal record, -14%. So you go through all of these issues, and Trump's policies of like revoking temporary protected status is not popular. All right, let's talk more about the protests. But I wanted to show you that the protests are working. But now it has this, it's a solve for the first mover problem, where lots of people go, wait a minute, is this normal? Is this normal?